You ready? You ready?
Hi, I'm Yvette Laboy, your host. Welcome to Life on Life Terms. And today I'm honored to have our guest, Gianna Mello, who is the author of this amazing cookbook called the Mello Cookbook.
Derek and I just got to Lehman College in the Bronx. You're so washed out.
Washed out and locked out.
We got locked in this random hallway and now we don't know what to do. We're also like 2 hours early.
Mama, I think I'm better than they. I ain't complaining. I seize the day while I'm young. Clearly I'm getting older now. There ain't no way I'm changing a day. Still I try. I won't lie. I thank God I can stand on my 2 feet. Still call my mama.
Oh, you're gonna green. Oh, okay, nice.
Stand in front there. Sure. Right here?
That's Aaron.
Sure, of course.
Then I realized one day
He's gonna look sick. Just look at that pig. He's gonna rock too. He says he's bringing it.
He's bringing it. Oh, he better bring it.
He says he's bringing it.
He better bring it.
I don't know what to say. That's gonna be ill.
She says, please keep on going, yeah, keep on going, yeah, keep on going. I said, my mama, do what I want, do whatever I please. She said, there ain't no way you gon' change in a day. Get back up, you get back up, and you do what you want.
If you don't like something, you say something. Speak your mind. Cut.
Cut!
I
love everything and everyone.
Cut. I don't like this. My hair.
Yeah, it really does. Movie. Ready to go on TV?
Which side do you want to hear? I'm usually on this side.
Yeah, you gotta come here.
Said there ain't no way. Mama, I feel some type of way about the side I'm playing. Is it for me? Mama, I think I'm better than they. I ain't complaining. I seize the day while I'm young. Clearly I'm getting older now.
You ready? You ready?
Changing a day. Still I try. I won't lie. I thank God.
Hi, I'm Yvette Laboy, your host. Welcome to Life on Life Terms. And today I'm honored to have our guest, Gianna Mello, who is the author of this amazing cookbook called the Mello Cookbook.
Hi.
And she's coming on to tell her story. So Gianna, tell me, how did you come to writing a book like this? Can you tell me a little bit about your journey?
Well, it all kind of started when I was little. I grew up with my grandma living with me. I'm 100% Italian. So I grew up with 3 generations of women cooking in the kitchen. My after-school activities consisted of coming home and making bread and making pasta, where everyone else was going outside and playing with their friends. And as a child, I used to be upset about it. I was pretty salty. I would cry because I wanted to go outside, but my grandma would be like, no, and she doesn't really speak English, so she'd be like, no, you have to help me with this. And I mean, every single counter was covered with carbs, bread, pasta, every direction. And so I grew up in that environment, and I also had a holistic pediatrician up until I was 18, so there was a variety of different modalities that were a part of my life that a lot of people aren't raised with, and I'm really grateful for it. But it brought me to where I am today, where I'm now sharing a lot of the things from my upbringing and the way that I was raised. And that kind of brought me to where we are today.
That's wonderful. So tell me a little bit. We were having a conversation later, earlier, and we were talking about mental wellness. Can you kind of share how that was part of your journey and how that brought you to where you are today as well?
Yes. So when I was growing up, because my parents were first generation, my grandparents are immigrants, and I grew up in a very small town. So I'm Italian, as I said, but when I was coming into high school and in school, I was always kind of an outcast, as a lot of kids are. And I struggled a lot with anxiety and depression. I was bullied a lot as a kid. And I used to eat my lunches alone in the nurse's office. And kids would make fun of me because I would bring things like pasta fazool or escarole and beans, things like that.
Wow, I would want to be your buddy in high school. Are you kidding me? That
Yeah.
sounds delicious.
No, I'm grateful for all of it because it brought me to where I am today. But for a while, I felt just really alone. And I spent a lot of time alone. So with that being said, I also had a hormonal imbalance, which is kind of separate from that, but relevant, where I had excessive hair growth, I had inflammation in my body, and I was seeing the holistic pediatrician, and he was recommending different things that I could implement into my lifestyle to make these changes. And so I removed dairy from my diet as per his recommendation, and I found out that I was lactose intolerant, so I stopped having that. And then as time went on, I started to notice physical changes in my body. I started to feel better about myself. And then that's how I discovered the diet that I have now, or the lifestyle that I have now. And along the way, I was sharing my journey on social media. It started around 6 years ago, I want to say. So I was sharing my journey on social media, and it was more so for me because I'm very introverted. And I wanted to share my story and put it out there for the world in hopes that it could shine a light to somebody that feels that they're alone. Because when I was younger, I felt very alone in all the things that I was going through. And I was just throwing it out there, seeing if it stuck, and it was received really well. I had a lot of people that liked the things that I was sharing, and then that kind of snowballed into what I was studying in school, which was product design. And I was learning how to do graphic design, typography, bookmaking, along with a number of other things. So I created this book. And I have a few books, but this one is special because of the mental health aspect of it. It's here to support your body and your soul. And I talk a lot about thoughtful and ethical living. And I touch really deeply on my upbringing, where you can really hear more about my story. It's in here, so you'll have to check out the book. But I basically talk about how healing isn't just changing your diet or going to the gym or cutting dairy out. It comes from a really deep part of yourself, and it's mental, physical, and spiritual. It's something that you have to want for yourself, and it takes discipline, it takes time, and you have to have patience along the way. And it's a vulnerable thing to go through, but it's the highest form of self-love, taking time to learn about yourself and take care of yourself. And again, I share my journey with that personally in this book, and it's also a cookbook, so it's a little bit of both worlds.
It sounds very powerful, and what you share is extremely powerful, and I really love it. That's why when I saw you, I was kind of, pulled towards you because I'm in the same flow. I'm in the same vibe. I healed myself from lupus. I'm into the holistic living and eating healthy. Yeah. And I think what you have to share is amazing. I think you're touching so many people's lives, and you're still so young and beautiful, and you have fabulous skin, by the way. And I love the message that you're sending out to people. One question, when you were growing up, and I say this because there's a lot of people out there, we have viewers that are also younger. How was it when you were being bullied? How did that affect you?
It made me feel really alone, and like I said, I didn't really have anyone to talk to about it. I mean, I'm extremely close with my family and my mom, and I've gotten closer with her as the years have gone by, but when I was in that, I felt very alone, and I didn't feel that I could talk about it. And I'd seen therapists. I'd gone to therapy at a very young age. My mom wanted to help me in any way that she could, and she would see that I was responding certain ways, but again, I wasn't really openly talking about it. And so I felt really alone. And another reason why I wrote this book, which I think I shared with you, I wanted it to be for that version of me at 14, 15 years old that was so alone and felt isolated, because I want somebody to know that you're not alone. You're never alone, no matter what you have going on in your life, whether it's bullying or the way that you feel about your image or your lifestyle or whatever it may be. You're never alone. There's always somebody that you can connect to. And it doesn't matter if you're 12 years old or 20 years old or 70 years old. So that's what this is for.
One more question before we go.
Okay.
Who is Gianna Caramello? Ciaramello.
Who am I?
Yes.
Oh, that's hard to say. I don't know.
Okay.
If I have to, who am I? Honestly, I'm somebody that's just here to, I want to help people. I want to be there for somebody in the way that I wish I had somebody for me at that point.
I love it. Beautiful. One more thing before we go, Gianna. If a person is interested in getting to know more about you and your book and what you do, you also do yoga.
Yeah,
you
I
mentioned
do.
that before.
I do.
And how do they get in touch with you? How do they find you?
So I'm primarily on Instagram, and it's my full name, so Gianna_Ciaramello, long and Italian. And it is on this image back here, as well as probably, below here. So just Gianna_Ciaramello. My website is just myfullname.com, and I share all different kinds of things on both of those platforms.
And you also have a YouTube page as well.
I do. It's a little wild, but I do cooking videos. I do product reviews. I wax my lip. It's a little bit of everything.
And the coconut water.
Yes.
I love that one. We'll share that with you guys another time. I love that one. So, Gianna, I want to thank you for being with us today. We definitely want you to come back in the near future. And let us know how you're doing, what you're up to as well. And I definitely want to go and check out one of your classes. I may come in and crash your cast and film it. And
sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Gianna. I'm Yvette Laboy from Life on Life Terms. Thank you for joining us. Bye.
How was it?
Need to hydrate. After that, all the sweat.
How was the interview?
Sweaty.
Sweaty.
Yeah.